What is up, Reds? Welcome to the Sunday Summary. I'm your host, Kyle. With me, as always, is Steve. I appreciate everyone's patience. For the first time ever, I actually slept in. I actually didn't wake up on time, and Steven wasn't late. It was me. It was me this time. So, Steve, I appreciate you calling me and waking me up, man. What's going on? How you doing after yesterday?
Well, first of all, I'm never late.
Debatable.
That's number one. Number two, again, just to echo you, thanks for everyone for joining us here, and happy Easter to you folks that are celebrating. I believe there's a couple holidays today
Is it? Yeah.
throughout the
Easter.
world.
What else we got?
Uh, they were
Passover. I
talking.
don't know.
Yeah. Well, happy holidays to everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not up to speed on that stuff. Not really my area of expertise, if you will.
Yeah.
Lots to cover today, man. It's gonna be a quick
Lots to
show.
cover today.
It's gonna be a relatively quick show as well. So
Yeah. So first off, yesterday, hell of a match to watch, especially the first half. It's always making it shaky for us, but we end up pulling it off. Man, what were you thinking going into the match yesterday? Obviously, Klopp's going with a full strength squad. I think at the time, looking at the current squad that we have, that's our strongest 11. Maybe you can debate Konate, but again, Konate, phenomenal yesterday. I mean, everyone was back to their best yesterday, and against a top opposition coming off of the draw midweek. Or when was it? When was the draw? When did we play them? You guys got to give me a second. I haven't had
last
any
weekend.
coffee yet. Last weekend. Yeah. So coming off of the draw against them, we came out firing on all cylinders, dude.
Yeah, I mean, going into the match, I'm always nervous playing against City. Like, they're the best games of the year, but they're also the most nerve-wracking. So, obviously, I was a nervous wreck going into it. I didn't really know what to expect. But I know that since we rested some of the squad midweek, that we should be fresh. And I think that showed in the first half. In terms of the shakiness at the end, I think that just comes with the quality of opponent. Like, I think we dominated that match yesterday.
Yeah.
I think they had three opportunities, right? The two goals, even though the third one was kind of a deflection off Allison there from Mahrez. The Grealish goal, that was legit. And then the Jesus one-on-one with Allison. Unless I'm wrong, I think those are the three major opportunities that they had. And when you play a side with class players like City, they're dangerous. It just goes to show they're dangerous. They only need a couple chances, you know?
Yeah. No.
So I think the 3-2 scoreline doesn't reflect how we dominated that match. I don't think they were anywhere near us yesterday. I think we completely outplayed them. I mean, we could have had five. We could have had 5 goals in that match.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Steve Nicol at halftime was you said I didn't let him finish, but he was like, we played okay, is what he was saying. But I think, and I went back and I watched the entire first half again. Call me crazy, but Klopp said it best. It's some of the best football we've played all season, especially against City. You know what I mean? And if you watch that third goal, especially, it started with Trent's switch, which was an amazing switch, dude. Like pinpoint accuracy across the field to Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz takes it down, pulls it back. Thiago picks it up. Thiago chips it over to Mane, and Mane's finish. It just was the epitome of the type of football we were playing yesterday. So I think the first half was phenomenal. But then you look at the second half, they kind of started just creeping back in the game. You know what I mean? Do you think that was down to fatigue? Or you think it was just like you said, the quality of opposition?
I think we kind of parked it a little bit. I wouldn't say we parked the bus, but we kind of just moved the ball around, tried to keep possession. Again, we had more opportunities to score more, but 3 goals against City, like, we can't complain about that, whether they're all in one half or not. I thought the second half was, I think, relatively what I would have expected for most of the game, like pretty even, if you will. And then I think just back to the third goal, Mane's goal, I think like the unsung portion of that sequence was when Trent got the ball at the top of the box and just gave a little touch to Thiago. I wasn't expecting that because he was in a crowded area, players everywhere.
Yeah.
I would have expected him to just kind of pass it back and reset.
Dude,
And the
how
fact
about
that he
his
didn't,
switch at the start, though?
yeah.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
it's
You heard the
that touch to
entire
me was
stadium.
the biggest piece.
The entire stadium was just like, oh, you know when Trent makes a good switch or a good
Yeah.
long ball? Oh, it's amazing.
Well, the whole stadium was red.
Yeah, seriously. Good God. That was just a heck of a match to watch yesterday, and I'm glad we're through to the final. What time did Crystal Palace and Chelsea play today?
I think that's this afternoon.
This
Like
afternoon?
3:30 Eastern. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not watching it.
Yeah, no, I kind of just want. Well, I mean, I know you don't like Chelsea, right? But who would you rather play in the final?
Crystal Palace.
Of course, I feel like yeah. Even though Chelsea may be a little bit on a decline, but yeah,
No,
absolutely.
I think if you say Chelsea, you're crazy.
Yeah,
There's those people that look for competition, and I want trophies. Crystal Palace is the easiest path to a trophy. Chelsea
yeah.
plays us tough.
I'm actually surprised Crystal Palace got there, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's go over to the chat. Say good morning to everyone, and shout out to my mom as well for the $20 super chat. Just a little cash for the Easter baskets. Thanks, Ma. Appreciate it. You'll be seeing a
Much
little
appreciated.
kickback from this, obviously, because I'll be seeing you later today. So yeah, good morning to Oyvind, Liz, Ryan Johnson. We got Connor Crosby in here as well. What's going on, everyone? Alan Holloway. Inglés say, Dave, what's going on, Dave?
We got Blake in here.
Yeah, legends.
I think.
Craig Maxwell, what a game, what a result, what a hangover. Shout out to Craig over there. We also had one of our own in there. Tony was up in the up in Wembley yesterday. Sent a beautiful, beautiful view. Dude, Wembley's just a different energy. Like when I was watching that game yesterday, I just couldn't help but think we were playing with a completely different energy than we played last weekend.
Well, there's actual energy.
Yeah. Half the stadium was red, but it did seem like the whole stadium was red.
I think more than half the stadium was red. You saw the flag to cover the seat allocation they couldn't fill. I mean, it's funny, but it's not surprising at all. Dude. I don't think we need to really discuss it. It's not surprising at all.
No. Let me ask you a real quick question, and then we can move on from this. Just actually chat about the play and everything like that. What did you think when Fernandinho made that tackle on Mane? I just want your opinion.
I think he's good for one of those every match.
Right. Okay. We know
that he does.
We know he can be kind of a dirty player, but did you think it was a red or anything more than a yellow? Okay, good.
No, it's just a very, very tough yellow. He's so experienced that he can put in a hard challenge like that looks really bad, but the studs weren't up. Like it was malicious somewhat. But if you look at the replay in slow motion, it's really not that bad.
Just want to give a quick shout out to Alexi here. One of the biggest Man City fans I know. Oh, man. What a guy.
That's actually not true. He's a Liverpool fan.
He's
the reason we're Liverpool fans.
In case you didn't know, yeah. Alexi got Steve into it, and then Steve got me into it. It's big. It's big.
So, I'm glad there's no City fans in here.
Oh, good God, dude. City fans suck. Do you remember
actually,
that one
that's
time?
not true. We welcome everyone.
Yeah.
I would love to hear their takes.
Yeah, but City.
They're just going to hang on to the score line, and it's like, no.
The scoreline does not reflect that match at all. That I can say for certain. But you said to me yesterday, Mane's back. You said Mane's back. That finish from Mane was textbook. Okay, to go near post, just thread the needle, just slice across the ball. It was such a satisfying goal to watch, dude. All right. And Mane, regardless of what people think about his form, he's always on the stat sheet. It always seems like Mane finishes the season with a solid number of goals. All right. What are you thinking about Mane going forward? Because now that we have the depth, right? You saw yesterday, Salah, Mane, Luis Diaz started in the FA Cup. Generally, we'll see some rotation in the FA Cup. Looking forward to the Champions League against Villarreal and Man United coming up, Tuesday? That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Who starts against Man United? Okay. Like, how do you think Klopp approaches the rest of the season?
It's a good problem to have so many players up top, especially in form. I think they're all in decent form. Salah doesn't have his shooting boots on, but I think he still had like 3 or 4 shots yesterday, like maybe
Yeah.
the most in the match.
Mhm.
So he just needs to tidy it up a little bit. I have no idea who's starting when. All I know is it's just a good problem to have all these options. But back to the Mane piece. I mean, that's 2018 Mane. I feel like he's back
That's
finally.
exactly what someone just said here. Yep. 2018.
Personally, I've been waiting. Personally, people have mixed reviews on Mane. I don't think he's been the same for over 2 years since 18-19. I don't think he's been
Yeah.
firing on all cylinders. And that first goal he had, pressing the keeper, like that's the energy that we need. That was the best goal yesterday.
It was so
That's what Klopp
satisfying.
wants to see. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the team, but that play right there, that's like the highlight of his season for me. And then
Yeah.
the finish, you can just tell he's confident, he's feeling it. Um, Work rate, he's back, and it's really exciting to see. Because for a while there, I had no confidence in him. Yeah, he'd
Mhm.
nick a goal, he'd still get you 10, 15, 20 goals a season, whatever the case may be. But he's back to the point now where when he has the ball, I feel good, and I
Yeah.
didn't for a while.
I think part of it too is Klopp has rotated him to that center forward spot. And I think that's done him a world of good because it puts him right in front of goal. If you think back to 18-19, just a perfect example would be like the Bayern goal. Take the Bayern goal, for example. He had to cut in from the left. His agility, he had to shake the defender, chip the keeper. Like that kind of summed up his ability back then. I don't think Mane really has that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Mane has the ability that we see, like, for example, from Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz will cut in on the right, shake a defender, and then curl one in, or at least that's what it looks like he wants to. We haven't seen it yet. Like, but that
Right.
you see it's coming. You see it's coming. Mane used to do that, right? Now I think Mane needs to be put in a position where he's in front of goal and he needs to finish. I don't know if he's necessarily lost the dribbling skills, the ability to take on a defender and create for himself, but I feel like that center forward spot has really allowed him to be put in positions to finish. So shout out to Mane yesterday. Really shout out to the whole team, especially a special shout out to Thiago. Good God. Thiago is something serious, dude. Guy is too
Yeah.
special. We
I
see it.
think that's actually part of like the
Oh,
Mane piece
yeah.
is it's not the same team when he was doing what you just mentioned. What he may have lost, the Diaz vibe. It's not the same team anymore. We used to have Fabinho, Hendo, Milner behind him, maybe Genie. No one's creating. Like, yeah, we had team goals, but it was a lot of counterattacking. You needed moments of magic. He needed to be selfish and attack one on one. That's just not the case anymore. And even if he did lose some of it, like you said, that's Diaz now.
Right.
Diaz can handle that role. Um, and I think, if Mane's got his shooting boots on, like he can finish with the best of them. Thiago, he was amazing yesterday, but I think like part of this is just the squad depth that we have, and we don't play necessarily the same as we used to. So we don't need Mane to produce like insane moments of magic, right? Like he can play more. Like we have creators now,
Thank God.
Thiago in particular, and I thought he was excellent yesterday.
Yep.
And part of that, I believe, was because their midfield was weaker. He had more time on the ball,
Valid point.
less pressure. He does need time. Let's face it. He doesn't have the stamina he wants to have. He doesn't have the pace. He's not as durable, and that showed last week. He played okay last week, but
Mhm.
if you give him time, it's ridiculous what he can do.
Yeah, CB Norwood put it best. Thiago is the Liz Golden of Liverpool. Hey, all right, I'll take it. I love it. And Hannah joining us. Good morning. SA Scouser, Mike Kopish. Mike Kopish brings up a good point. Talk about Keita, and then we'll look forward to Champions League and United real quick. Keita, I think Keita gets a bad rap, but dude, I mean, thank God he's been available this season because he gives us another means of attack. Like Thiago can, pass. We talked about this before. Thiago's a progressive passer. He gets creative. He can feed the ball through lines of defense. Where Keita's a progressive dribbler. He can also press, which was phenomenal yesterday. Our press was awesome yesterday. But when they have a midfield like uh, Silva, Fernandinho, and who else was playing in the midfield?
Foden.
Okay. Very creative midfield for them. You needed someone like Keita to counteract that. And yes, I heard a lot of shouts for Keita. I know Mane got man of the match, but my 4 standout players yesterday, I got to go with Konate, Thiago, Keita, and Mane for me. Just phenomenal. I mean, every time Konate's on the pitch, dude, I've said this and I'll continue to say it. Give him 2 seasons and he's in the conversation for best defender in the world. He's so good.
Yeah, he's gifted for sure.
You're right. He's gifted. He actually has a natural gift to play the sport, and I think that goes a long way in helping him. But to United, okay, United coming off a 3-2 win against Norwich yesterday. Fans, the way they celebrated the 3rd goal, I just thought it was kind of funny. Cristiano Ronaldo, I think, got a hat trick. Yeah, he got a hat trick yesterday. So maybe that's why it was the biggest deal. But, dude, you worried? You worried for United, especially given this one's at Anfield?
Always a little worried.
Now, this is something because I'll be watching the match. I ended up taking off for it. But one of the announcers yesterday asked a question, and I thought it was a great question. It said, do you think currently the biggest rivalry in the Premier League is Man City versus Liverpool? The answer is yes, right? But Man United versus Liverpool, regardless of the positioning in the table, is still one of the biggest matches in England.
Yeah, Klopp said it best. You don't have to choose what you think is the biggest rivalry. Everton, United, City. He was asked that question yesterday. It's City. From a sheer competitive standpoint, I mean, to me, that's what a rivalry is. If you beat a team every time, it's not as intense of a rivalry as if you go back and forth and you're drawing.
Yeah.
Of course, there's like some bad blood between Liverpool and Everton, but Everton are one of the worst teams in the league.
It's sad.
So I don't know how anyone can say it's a bigger rivalry right now from a match perspective.
Of course.
That wouldn't, But hey,
yeah.
It's anyone's opinion. It's City for me.
Yeah, I agree. Oivan said I've never been less worried about them. So we won't spend too much time on the United match again because, I mean, yes, it's a big rivalry, but I agree. I think this win here, even if it's the FA Cup, I think we have a lot of positive momentum going forward. And the fact of the matter is the quadruple is still a thing. We still have a possibility to win the quadruple, guys. It's late April. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I just want everyone to think about that for a minute. We already have 1 trophy in the bag. We're in the FA Cup final. We're in the semifinals against Villarreal. So we have a very significant chance, and this is not me talking down Villarreal, but at the same time, it kind of is. We have a significant chance of beating Villarreal to go to the Champions League final, and we are still very much in the conversation for the Premier League title. This is a real possibility. How insane would that be?
It would be wild. I think the players and the manager answer it very wisely, just one match at a time. Like, yeah, we're not that psyched over the United match as we might have been in years past. But at the end of the day, if we lose that match, the Premier League trophy it's not gone, but it's very, very, very unlikely.
Yeah.
That's a must win.
Of course. Well,
certainly a must win.
I honestly think every match at this point is a must win.
I think every match ever is a must win, personally. Aside from friendlies. But even those, I don't want to see them lose those.
No, that's true. I feel like every match is a must win. That's a good point. Like when people ask that question.
In the Premier League with you, every match all season in the league is a must win. Because every point matters. How often have we seen that?
No, it's so true. I never even think about it like that because a lot of times that's the go-to question. Is this a must win? It's like, yeah, duh. Like,
Yeah,
do
win
you
too,
play
not
the
draw.
sport to lose?
Exactly.
No.
I mean, obviously, you get towards the end of the season, you start really looking at the table
Yeah.
and you think more about must this, must that. But every match all season is of the utmost importance. I think they're gonna go for it 100% on Tuesday. Like
Yeah.
you won't see crazy rotation like we saw in the Champions League.
No, and that's the exact reason why I don't think we saw rotation in the FA Cup. Well, maybe not. I'd say 80% of the reason is because we can't really rotate at this point. Maybe in the Champions League we can. That's what's crazy to me, dude. Klopp rotates more in the Champions League than he does in other competitions, like even in the FA Cup, where historically he would rotate heavily in the domestic competitions. But like the Champions League, throughout the whole season. I think it even started back in the group stage where you saw Divock Origi playing in the first match against Milan. You're like, what? What's going on?
Well, I honestly those matches, while I do believe every match is a must win, they're less important than a
Right,
Premier League match on Saturday versus Norwich. It's just less important. That's the fact of that. And you'll see rotation, but it's not like rotation like it would have been in years past
right, right. I
because
get
we
what you're
have
saying.
depth. So,
Yeah.
like, if you see a Keita or a Henderson get switched in back to back matches, yeah, that's rotation, but it's not like putting in an Ox for a Tiago. It's not like
Dude,
that level of rotation. It's not like seeing Harvey Elliott come in for whoever, right? There's tiers to it, I believe. We
100%. And
have
we're
our
not going to
14,
see.
15 players that are going to play, and under them, I don't know what the exact number is. That's rotation to me. If you see
No,
an Ox come in, if you see an Origi come in, like that's rotation.
right, right. Because you have a rotation and a B squad, I feel like. And the rotation is exactly like you said. You have like four players that you rotate consistently. So, like, for example, I think Keita, Konate, Diaz and Jota might be those four. Would you agree? Like those would be the rotation guys.
Say that again.
So among the starting 11, then you have Konate, Keita, Diaz, and Jota. Those are your four rotation guys.
Firmino, Jota,
Firmino,
yeah.
yeah, true, true. I still consider Firmino a starting 11 guy. I really do. Like in my head, when I think about the starting 11, I'm still thinking Salah, Mane, Firmino. Even though Jota has started more games, and I still picture Jota as a depth guy. Um, and yeah, to everyone saying I fixed my flags. I was getting tired of people just saying, "Kyle, can you fix your flags? Fix your flags." So I turned them, and I don't, and it looks okay. Whatever, Steve. What do you prefer? Do you prefer the horizontal or the vertical?
Couldn't care less.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
I did
saying.
see someone in the chat here. I forget who it was. Might have been Sir Oswald.
Where we at, sir?
Um, what did he say?
Poor City?
No, something about Konate being first choice now. I don't know if it was him. Somebody was saying that. I'm seeing two things after the match yesterday. One is people are saying Konate's first choice now over Matip. That's not true. It's good that we have three amazing center backs, but recency bias can't make you jump ship and say this person's ahead of the other person now.
No.
And the other
Good
piece
one.
is Keita and Henderson. Like Keita's been okay this year. Henderson's been okay.
Yeah.
Henderson doesn't look like the same player he did the year we won the league. The year we gave him his extension. That's true. He's maybe a little bit of dip of form, but he's still in the first 11. And again, good problem to have. These players to kind of have these debates, but I just hate to see when Keita plays well, Konate plays well, it's all of a sudden their first choice. It's like, well, no, they're not because they don't play every match or nearly
Now,
every match.
but I'm gonna say this: are you a person? Because I know for me, I'm a form guy, depending on the competition. But if someone's in good form, you got to play them. And then if they're in good form and you're playing them, technically they're first choice at that point.
But Konate barely plays. How many games have we played this year?
I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I think Konate has been way more consistent, or not consistent. I think Klopp has chose him more consistently than any other rotation player. Like Konate, I did not expect him to play as much as he's played this season at all.
Well, I don't
Konate,
even know if Klopp did, but he's
yeah,
really shown us something.
you know,
However, if we play a final tomorrow, it's Matip.
of course.
So again, this is a really good problem to have, but it's okay to have three great center backs and have one of them not be first choice.
Hmm.
And I think Keita was solid yesterday. I think he's been pretty solid overall. He's been healthy, which is good. But I don't know if I would still want him to play over a Henderson in a final.
Yeah, yeah. But everyone can agree our best midfield three at this time would be Fabinho, Thiago, Hendo, right? So a
Maybe not
final.
today. Maybe not today.
Well, no, all
After
right. Look, I'm asking you this: if we had to play in a final today, who are you starting in midfield?
Hendo, he's
Okay,
a captain.
right, of
He's
course.
got
But
insane experience.
and I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. Um, but recently it seems like he's been starting Keita.
I mean, I don't have the lineups for recent matches here, but I'm sure we could figure it out.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't really matter too much. It's just interesting to think about. And Steve, you said it best. It's a good problem to have. The fact of the matter is the quadruple is still on. We got United coming up on Tuesday. Then you got Villarreal over two legs in the semis of the Champions League. We'll find out who we play in the finals of the FA Cup. Already got the League Cup in the bag. Steve, this is serious. This is the real deal. The quadruple's a real thing. This isn't us just saying like, oh, we might win the quadruple. This is a real possibility. And if
It
that
is.
happens, you might as well just hang your hat up because it's very unlikely Liverpool are ever going to be this good again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far,
I'm just
but
saying, dude, it is.
it,
First off, no one's ever won a quadruple. And second off, winning it twice or even coming close to that. I'm not trying to be negative here. Like this is a positive thing. I'm just saying this is insane to think about.
it is. It is, and it's very possible. I think the only one, obviously, the Champions League is unbelievably hard. I think the FA Cup, like I feel good about the FA Cup for sure. Even
So
if we
do
play
I.
Chelsea, I feel good
Yeah.
about that. The league, it's not in our hands technically, but we still have to win every match to keep the pressure on them. And like I said, I think they will at least draw one match. It's hard to win seven matches in a row.
In the Premier League, nonetheless.
Yeah, and I just think we have a little bit of an edge in the motivation department. Personally, I don't know what it is. I just have a feeling that we want it a little bit more.
I agree. I feel like that's what Klopp has instilled in the boys. I feel like Klopp at this point has basically said like he says it all the time now actually. He says with this group it's possible. Because I have these boys it's possible. And I agree. I think Klopp has specifically built a team of players who love the sport, play with a team mentality, playing for, the badge on the front, not the name on the back, and all that matters when it comes to winning trophies, Of course, you can win trophies with a lot of talented players, but I'm telling you, 10 times out of 10, I'd rather take a good team over, let's say, a PSG, where they just have players, the best players in the world, quote unquote, but they're not a team. And that's why I love this club. That's why I love Jurgen Klopp, dude. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane. Steve, do you have any closing thoughts, my man? I know you got to get going and spending Easter with your family. What are your plans here?
I'm heading down to Rhode Island.
Nice. What's going on down there?
Just family
Let's go.
stuff, regular stuff. Yeah. But in terms of closing thoughts, it's just proud of the team. Again, the score line doesn't reflect the the domination we displayed yesterday.
Not at all. Not at
And
all.
like,
Yeah.
you can say whatever you want about the scoreline. You can say whatever you want about the injuries they had. No one knows about injuries more than we do. There's no excuse. You're supposed to have the deepest. You're supposed to have the deepest squad in the world for the last 3 seasons.
Yep.
And I don't think there was any chance De Bruyne was ever going to play yesterday. I think he was there for like maybe some mind games. Personally,
100%. I thought the same thing. I'm glad you think that.
because if you get to 3-1 in the 50th minute and De Bruyne can play, you bring him in because he can score a worldie. And then next thing you know, you're down 1. You have a chance to tie it up, go into extra.
Yep.
So he was never going to play yesterday. I thought he might, but after seeing what I saw, I don't think he was ever going to play yesterday.
No, it would be too risky. It'd be too risky to play him. I 100%. I think the thing, if De Bruyne's on the bench, you start him. If he's healthy enough to be on the bench, you start him. So that's why I think you're right. It was mind games yesterday because De Bruyne, dude, he's a game changer. He's the best midfielder in the world, if you ask me. He's phenomenal. He has the ability to change the game. I'm going to leave the show with this thought here, guys. Everest, I think, said it best. I have faith in this team. I may be crying of either laughter or disappointment after the season, but I'm super proud of this team and how much fun. It's a blessing. It's a blessing for me, I'm assuming is what he's saying. Even the treble will be amazing. And I think we can all agree. I think that this team that we're watching right now, Steve has been adamant we have a window. But we've taken advantage of the window at this point in the season. This season has been remarkable to watch. And after the buildup of last season, where we're defending with Nat Phillips and Reese Williams, where we're relying on Allison to get headers to get into the top 4 so we can play Champions League football. Seriously, I just think this team has been so fun to watch. It's stressful at times. But this team has just been awesome. So, Steve, I'll leave it there. I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks again for your patience. I know we're running a little bit late today, and that's my fault. So, thanks again. And, Steve, happy Easter. Happy Easter to everyone else. And we'll see you guys next Sunday, all right? All right, guys. Take care.